have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief.
Okay, I think the volume level is okay. Today we're going to talk about how you can introduce yourself, and I'm going to show you what you can do in certain kind of situation, but I'm also going to show you what you shouldn't or you shouldn't do in certain kind of situation. I'm also show you some examples what you can say when you talk with an English person, or when you talk with another person, or when you want to practice. Yep. Okay. Before we're gonna start, give me 1 second. Yeah, I forgot to put this. So before we're gonna start, I'm from English House, and at English House you can follow English program in order to learn English. If you want to know more about those things, just contact the owner, and she or he can help you with whatever you need in order to practice English. This is just a basic. In order to get better, you need to go to an English house or to an English center and practice, then you can get better. So if you have a question, you can put it on in the comments. I will see it on my screen here, and I see there's something wrong with my document, so I will need to open a new one. I will do that soon, but first thing first, if you're watching, let me know who you are, introduce yourself, tell me what's your name, where you're from, and why you want to learn English. So put it in the comment if you're watching. I will see it, and then we can discuss it, and I'm going to give you some tips how you can do it. So let me know who you are if you're watching, and tell me your name, and how old are you? Let's start with that. So start with your name and how old are you. And while you're doing that, I'm going to look for my documents because it's not looking good, this one. Let's see, where are you? Sometimes when you have too much documents, it's hard to find the correct one. This is gonna be a problem. No, I don't have it here. But okay. Yeah, let's see the chat. So, okay. Nobody introduced himself yet. Let's start with introducing yourself. Yeah. If you talk with someone, most people think when you need to introduce yourself, you need to think about themselves. You need to introduce yourself, they think about themselves. But that's wrong. When you introduce yourself, you need to think about how are you going to introduce yourself and what do you need to say. Two different things. How are you going to introduce yourself and what do you need to say? If I know who I'm talking to, I know how I can introduce myself, and I also know what I need to say about myself. Let me give you an example. If you ask someone to introduce himself, they will say the name, say where they are from, and what their hobbies are. But let me tell you one thing that's boring. That's really boring. Don't do that. What you need to figure out is the person you're talking to. Who is it? Where is he from? What is his interest? Why do you need to introduce yourself? Those kind of questions you need to ask yourself, because when you ask yourself those questions, you also know what you need to tell them. For example, if someone asks me, can you introduce yourself? I'll be like, okay, my name is Martis, or my name is Alexander. What do you want to know about me? Most time I do that because I know, okay, that person wants to get information out of me, or the person wants to know something about me. If he tell me what he wants to know, I will tell them. That's simple. So if you are in an environment, if you are in a situation where you meet someone for the first time, introduce yourself, say, hey, my name is this. What's your name? Where you're from? Or, hey, my name is this. What's your name? What do you like? Those are the basic things that you can do. But if you are in an interview, most of the time you already know the person you're talking to. And when you are in an interview and you're talking with a new person, you can ask the person, okay, I know this person. Can you introduce yourself? I want to know more about you before I'm introducing myself. And when you talk about that person, when you get information from the person, you will know what to tell them. You understand what I mean? So during this live stream, you will see more example, but this is just an example to show you what you need to do and what you need to do and what you shouldn't do. You understand what I mean? I will give you later some examples about this, but for now, just show you the difference. And it's not like when you talk with someone, you always need to introduce yourself. Sometimes it will go automatically. Sometimes you do not need to introduce yourself because your friend already introduced you. So for example, you go with your friend to a club, or you go with your friend to shopping mall, doesn't matter, and you meet someone and your friend introduces you. It will be weird if you introduce yourself again. What you can do is, okay, my name is, but tell me more about yourself. Who are you? What do you do? What kind of work are you doing? Are you a student or are you working? Yeah, what do you like? You see the difference? The situation is really, the situation matter in this case. So what we are going to do is we're going to look at some examples. I have some conversation cards. I will ask myself that question. First I will ask you guys that question, and I will show you how I would answer. Sometimes I have an answer, sometimes I don't, and sometimes I think the question is not relevant, or sometimes I will be like, hey, just ask it different. So that's how I'm going to do it. If you have a question, just put it in the comment. Do not be afraid or anything, just put it, because if you do not do anything, nothing will happen. And if you're here and you're watching and you want to learn, start practicing. Now you have the chance. So okay, the document that I'm trying to open, I don't remember where I put it on my computer. I make a screenshot, but the screenshot is not clear, and that's something that's bothering me the whole time right now. So I'm going to show you my screen, and hopefully you can read it. Otherwise I will read the question out loud so you can see what I'm talking about. So let's go to the second let's go to the second one. So as you can see, these are the conversation cards. If I make it bigger, I'm not sure if you can read it, but this is a screenshot, and that's a problem, but we'll come back to that soon. Let's look at some basic example what you normally learn when you need to introduce yourself. And yeah, let's talk about it. So first thing, if you look at this part, you see it's really basic English. If you are just starting out and you want to know how to introduce yourself, you can say, hey, my name is, in this case, hey, my name is Alexander, or hey, my name is Martes. Doesn't matter. You can put your family name or your normal name. You can choose whatever you want. And then you see people say, hey, I am from. You can say I'm from Vietnam, I'm from the Netherlands, I am from Turkey, I am from America. Doesn't matter. You can put it this is the country. And then you can say, where do you live? I live in Ho Chi Minh City, I live in Hanoi, I live in Da Nang, I live in Amsterdam, I live in New York, I live in LA. See that? Depends on the city where you live. So these are the things that you can say when you introduce yourself. But these are basic. If you're just starting out, you can learn this, but it doesn't mean you can always use this. Doesn't mean you need to always use this. Let me give you an example. There is a big difference between someone that has experience speaking English and someone that's starting out. Someone that start out with speaking English, they will say these kind of sentence. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm saying that it will be boring when you talk with someone else, because these are basic questions. You are not showing interest in the other person. If you look someone that is experienced with speaking English, you will see that the person will ask more question, but it's not basic question. The person will ask question based on the interest of the other person. Let me give you an example. If I'm walking in the park in Ho Chi Minh City, one student will come to me. I will say, hey, my name is, I'm from Vietnam. I live in Ho Chi Minh City. I'm this month old. My birthday is, let's say, in August. I'm a student at the university, and that's it. After 5 minutes, the conversation will get boring. Let's say I go the next day to Ho Chi Minh City to a park. Another student come to me. You will see that the person will ask, hey, my name is, hey, where are you from? Can you tell me more about you? How is your country? Why are you here in Vietnam? Based on those questions, you can see the level between students. And the question is, where do you want to start? Do you want to start with the basic, or do you want to start with the more advanced one? You understand what I mean? So these questions are a good thing. Do not use it too often. Just use it when you need it. For example, if you do not know other questions, just use these questions. That's simple. Yeah, these are not really questions, but it's something you can talk about. I will show you some questions what you can ask people later. But how does this document work? This document, you can get it on the Discord if you're a student, or you can also get this document from the English house. You can just ask them if you're a student there, and they will give you the document so you can practice. So if you're starting out, you want to start learning how you can introduce yourself, look at this document. These are basic questions. Yeah, later we will go to the other questions. So if you look at here, we already discussed this. My birthday is, let's say, 11 August. I'm a student at the university. Here you can choose what you can fill in. My favorite subject at the university. So my favorite subject, it can be law, it can be mathematics, or doesn't matter. You can find it here. Let's see, movie, because they didn't put it here. Oh yeah, school subject. You see that here? Science, English. You see that here? Science, English, math, art. So you can put it in here. My favorite sport is, do they have sports here? No. You can put soccer, for example. And let's see. There are, how many people do you have in your family? Sometimes you have 5, sometimes you have 3. And this is the total family. Yeah. And they are, you tell them, okay, where are they? My brother, sister, my little brother, or my big brother, my mother and father. So my parents. You can put it on here. So these things are easy. You can fill it in and you can practice in order to remember when someone asks you about your family. You don't have to tell them exactly about your family. And then we have, my father is, you look here as at a job, teacher, nurse, civil servant, secretary, manager, all those things. You can put it into it. Let's see, what do we have more? Yeah, I would like to be, you can also look, let's see, I would like to be, that is because there's reason. Yeah, I would like to be a teacher, policeman, doctor, architect, social worker. That's job that you can be, because, and you fill it in here. I like it a lot. I think it's important. It's a standard sentence that you can use. So, yeah, why not use it? Let's see, what do we have more? My hobby is, you see some hobbies and free time activities. You can fill it in here. So these are basic things that you can use. So interesting. Let me see. My hobby is, let's say, reading, painting, and drawing. Oh, that's something that I also see with a lot of students. When they introduce themselves, they talk about hobby and then they stop. Let me give you an example. Oh, my hobby is reading. Or my hobby is painting. Okay, why is that? Can you give me an example what you read? Why do you like reading? You understand that? That's more interesting. That you can say my hobby is reading. It's okay, but people want to know why. And can you give an example? What kind of book do you read? For example, my hobby is reading. I like to read Harry Potter because those stories are really nice, or I really like those stories. That's more interesting when you talk about yourself. So if someone asks you about my hobbies, do not only say, hey, my hobby is. No. Say what your hobby is, why is that your hobby, and why you like it, and then give an example. So people can be like, oh, okay. And it also help you to learn how to make better sentence, but it also help you to structure the way how you talk. So think about why and give an example. And then in my free time, so we talk about free activities, you can say, in my free time, I also like to surf the internet or surfing the internet. Yeah, you can say that, but then say, okay, why do you like that? And give an example. What do you do? Do you look the whole day on Facebook, or you go on Facebook and talk with your friends, social media, or you watch YouTube? Tell them about it. Understand what I mean? These are basic sentences so you can start. If you do not have them, it's going to be difficult to start. So if you look at this, just be creative and think from your perspective. What I see some students do is they create a sentence and they try to make it perfect by making things up. There's nothing wrong with that, but if you make things up, it can be difficult. Make things up means you think about something that's not real. If I ask you something about that you said, it's going to be difficult for you to answer. Let me give you an example. My hobby is painting. My hobby is not painting. My hobby is painting. I like to paint when I have free time. I paint, for example, let's say I paint, for example, let's say I painted, for example, I like to paint car, for example, yeah. And I will ask you then a follow-up question. Why do you like to paint cars? Can you show me one of the example? What kind of can you show me one of those paintings? Okay. When did you start for the first time painting cars? You see what the problem is with that? When you look at that, yes, you give an answer, but the follow-up you cannot answer because you do know nothing about painting, and that's the problem with that. So when you talk about something, try to stay close where you are, because if you do not do that, the follow-up question will become difficult. And if I ask the follow-up question, then the students will be like, I cannot answer because I don't know. You understand what I mean? So if you look at this, yeah, use this, but try to stay as close to what you're doing. Do not make things up. If you don't like to serve your internet, you don't like it. If you don't like reading, you don't like reading. Hey, just tell them what you do in your free time. If you like sleeping, you sleep. Simple. Try to be as close as possible. You do not have to make your life exciting or whatever. So, okay. Let's see. I'm doing some coffee. Where were we? My hobbies, yes. Oh yeah. One hobby, my hobby is. Two or more hobbies, my hobbies are. I see a lot of students making those mistakes. Just remember there's a difference between plural and singular. Yeah? But that's in for the grammar stream. That's not for right now. Okay. In my free time I also like, it's the same thing as my hobbies. You can fill it in. I don't like, yes. When you say something you like, try to also say something you don't like. Because then people can see like, okay, you like this and you don't like this. Okay. It's easy to understand what kind of person someone is. Let me give you one example. If someone talk only positive things about himself, it's hard for me to trust that person. If someone tell me, hey, I like this, I don't like this, it's easy for me to trust that person because he knows what he is and he knows what he likes and what he doesn't like. So it's someone I can talk to. You see the difference? So it's better to know how you say what you like. Also, it's better to know also what you don't like. And what you see a lot of time, you see that also online. People try to picture everything perfect, like nothing is wrong. Well, there are some things wrong with other people. You understand what I mean? So try to also think about things that you don't like. Yeah, and try to name them. There will always be some things that you don't like, even if you don't like it. Yeah. So let's talk about food and drink. Yeah, my favorite food If someone asks you what your favorite food is, sometimes you do not know how to pronounce it, or sometimes you do not know what the name is, right? So what you need to do is the following. Think about something that is basic. Think about food that is recognized for the other person. So if you talk with someone that's from America, you know they like hamburger, you'd be like, okay, we have something that looks like a hamburger here. That's my favorite food. So what I'm trying to say is, when you talk with someone about your favorite food or favorite drink, try to figure out if the person know what it is. Let me give an example. If someone's first time here in Vietnam or another country and you name a dish, it doesn't mean they know what a dish is. And it's hard for them to predict what the dish tastes like unless they already taste it. You understand what I mean? So that's the thing when you look at this. And my drink, same apply for my drink. And then my favorite day of the week is, it can be whatever, and just tell them why. I like a lot, it's important. Or last day of the week, you can say, for example, Friday is my favorite day because last day of the week, it's weekend, they have free time. Favorite month, you see a lot of people say their birthday because it's their birthday. Favorite singer or band, you don't have to have that. If you see that you don't have that, you say, hey, I don't have that. So if you don't have a favorite singer, you say, hey, no, I don't have that. And then I like movies. Sometimes you see a lot of people say they have a lot of categories. You don't have to say one. You can say, yeah, there's a lot of movie I like. It can be action, comedy, romantic. It depends on the story. You see? I use almost a lot of categories, but I give a reason why. So it depends on the story. If the story is good, I like it. If the story is not good, I don't like it. Example, you name some example movies. You can say Fast and Furious or Frozen, if you're a fan of Frozen, those kind of things. And then we have my favorite place is because, so if you have been to somewhere and you really like that place, just tell them about that. Or in your city, it can also be in your city. If you live, for example, in Ho Chi Minh City and you like a place in Ho Chi Minh City, you can name that as long as your reason is correct. You understand what I mean? So I like traveling. Yeah, most people that never travel, they always say I like traveling. Thing is, the word travel is really big. And when someone travel, it can be, I can travel from here to Vung Tau. It's also traveling. I can travel from here to Da Nang. It's also traveling. But most of the time, when I talk with students, they always think traveling is traveling abroad. No. Traveling is visit places. So I like traveling. You like to visit new places. Yes, I like to visit new places. You can say, I like traveling. I have been to Vung Tau. I have been to Da Nang, or I have been to this part of the city. Okay? And I really like it. So traveling is not only about traveling abroad, so traveling to another country, traveling is also in your country. If you visit a city, that's also traveling. If you visit Hanoi, that's also traveling. If you go via Hanoi to Ho Chi Minh City, that's also traveling. You understand that? So when you talk about traveling, do not only think about going to another country, but think about in your country also. You visit places. Yeah. And the most beautiful place in my country is, this is evident. It means it's easy for you. You can name a place that you really like. It can be your hometown. It can be your city. Whatever. You can choose. Nobody is stopping you. Yeah. And what the most important question is, you don't have to say it when you are introducing yourself. No. Don't say this question. Don't say this, because when you talk with someone, they don't care if you study English or not. They just care who you are as a person and why are you talking, why are you communicating with each other. You understand that? So here, if you study English, make sure you know why you are studying English. I see a lot of students out there want to learn English. After 3 months, they're going to be like, yeah, it's not working for me. Or they stop. Yeah, I can understand that. But if your why is not really good, it's going to be hard for you to learn faster. And why you can learn English? There's some reasons to learn English. Let me tell you so. One, you can learn for work. So you want to learn English in order to get better salary. Yes, you can say that. But the thing is, you do not know for sure if you're getting a better salary. I will come back to that later. But another reason is you want to learn English because you want to study abroad. Or you want to learn English because you want to travel. You want to travel to different country, and English is one of the language that you can speak in every country. I can understand that, but that's a big reason. So if you want to visit some places, you can learn English. Just make sure the why is important. Yeah? And why you study English is important, but you do not have to say, hey, I'm Alex. I like to study English, or I study English because this, that. You don't have to say that. You don't have to say that. Just focus on the other person. What are you talking about and where you are? Yeah. So these are the basic question, basic things. I think when you talk about introducing yourself, you need to talk about the basic things. Otherwise, it will become difficult. But these are the basic things that you can use in order to introduce yourself. Okay. But now we're gonna go to the fun stuff. I do not know if you guys can read this, but on my screen I see some pixel, and this is because I make a print screen of this, and that's not good. So I'm gonna fix that in the next stream. I'm not going to do this next time, but the next time I will use the original document. But the original document is somewhere on my computer. But yeah, you see how this starts. When you talk about introducing yourself, we're going to talk about you. It's going to be complicated, but let me show you. If I'm talking to you right now, I'm asking, hey, you're watching the screen. Can you tell me more about you? I'm not introducing myself. I want to know more about you so I can tell you more about me and see what we have in common. You see the two different things? When you're introducing yourself, you need to figure out who are you talking to. When you look things online about introducing yourself, they talk about target. Who is your audience? So who are you talking to? That's the most important stuff. It's not about what your name is or what your surname, what your nickname. No, it's not about that. It's about who are you talking to and why do you need to introduce yourself. Two different things, or three different things. Yeah. But you see here, let's talk about you. When I talk to you, I need to introduce myself. I will talk about you. Even when I present, I have a big presentation, I'm not talking about myself. Okay? I'm talking about them, the people that are listening to. Who are they? Why are they here? Why are we talking with them? See it? So we have here, let's talk about you. And there's some questions you can ask. These are the things that you normally do in class. But in our class, we have new things. And let me tell you short about it. It's you will get the instruction. It's like one page. In the page, they will tell you how you can make a video. And it depends on the topic. And you will get the topic with certain kind of key points of instruction. And you need to make a video about that topic. And doing the video, you need to do certain kind of things in order to practice English. And then you can send it to me on Zalo or whatever. And most time, when the students send it to me, I will watch it and give them feedback how they can get better. I saw one student, after 1 month, big improvement. See, she started to be more confident in how she speak, but also she learned much faster. So and it also gave me the possibility to look at the video back and give feedback from this was at the beginning and now it's like this. So it's really interesting. So what we do right now in the new course that we give a lot of homework, but the homework, one of the main homework is you need to make a presentation, a video. It's funny sometimes, but sometimes it's really helpful for some students because they can practice and they can look back and see, hey, this is me. I need to improve this. So, like I said, introduce yourself and let's talk about you. We're going to look at some question. I will ask myself that question. And first I will ask you if you're watching. and then ask myself that question, give answer. So we're gonna look at the conversation cards. We have, that's a lot. These are a lot of questions. I think we can do a lot, but these are not difficult questions. Okay, I'm gonna ask you guys the question, then after 10 seconds you can answer. I will look at the comment and then I will answer and then go to the next one. So let's look at the comments. So if you're watching and you like to participate, feel free to participate. Next time when I live stream, I will try to put the invitation link in the post. That means when you press the link, you can talk also in the screen to practice your English. So let's look at the question. First question is, what's your name? What's your surname? What's your nickname? Okay. Let's start with the first one. If you're on a chat and you're watching, or if you're watching the stream, what's your name? You don't have to tell me your surname or your nickname. Just tell me what's your name. Who are you? If someone asks you what's your name, tell me what's your name. You have 10 seconds. I need to put the time. It's better. So I'm gonna watch the. Give me 1 second. The timer is not working. I do not know how to put the time in 10 seconds. But okay, let's see the chat. Nobody answer. If you're too shy, I cannot help you. If you're not doing anything, I cannot help you. So let's go to the next one. So if someone asks you what's my name, I'll be like, hey, my name is Alexander. Can you tell me what's your name? And why are you asking my name? Or can you introduce yourself? So my name is Alexander. Can you introduce yourself? Or sometimes I will say, before I give you my name, can you just tell me what is your name and why you're asking my name? It depends on the situation. You understand that? So you see, 2 different situations, 2 different answer. Of 2 different situations, 2 different reply. So that's what's your name. Surname, nickname, nobody going to ask that. Unless you are registered for something online, but no, nobody going to ask that. Second, do you have any brother or sister? You see, you ask name and then you go to something that is really personal. Most of people don't really talk about that, but let's start first with, do you have any brother or sisters? So if you're in the chat and you're watching, and let's ask, I'm asking, do you have any brother or sister? You can tell me yes or no, or you can say, hey, I have this many brothers, or I have this many sisters, or I have 1 brother, I have 1 sister. You can say whatever you want. Yes? So 10 seconds. If someone asks me this and I really want to answer, I'll be like, I have 2 brothers, 2 sisters. That's simple. Or I could be like, yes, I have 2 brothers and 2 sisters. If I don't want to answer, I'll be like, why do you want to know? I may or may not have a brother or sister. You see the 2 different situations. If I want to answer and if I don't want to answer. Yeah? And technically the second one, so I may not, is I giving them answer, but it's not a clear answer. You also have that. When someone, they give you answer, but it's not clear. It's not a clear answer, and you need to have a follow-up question. And you can only do that when you understand the question. Yeah? Okay, the next one. Where do you live? How did you get here? This is not a good. If someone is living in Ho Chi Minh City and you talk about here Ho Chi Minh City, it's okay. But if you talk with someone that say is from let's say from Dalat, and he's in Ho Chi Minh City for a meeting, and you ask the person, where do you live? Person will say, hey, I'm from Dalat, I live in Dalat. If you ask them, how did you get here? They'll be like, why do you want to know how I get here to Ho Chi Minh City? You understand the situation? So this question, I understand what they want to know. They just want to know, okay, how did you get there? So how did you how did you get there to Dalat? So why are you living there in Dalat? That's what they are technically asking, hopefully. But this question, I wouldn't ask it like this. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. So if you ask someone where do you live, you say, hey, where are you living right now? Right now, where are you living right now? Or where are you staying right now? Do you live in Ho Chi Minh City right now, or do you live outside Ho Chi Minh City? In and outside, two different things. Yeah. So how did you get there? Here, it depends on the situation. In English, you also have a lot of words or sentences that you can only use in certain kind of situation. Watch out for that. Yep. So, okay, where do you live? Interesting. How did you get there? Here. Let's go to the next conversation cards. Let me know the comment. Yeah. Let's see. What do you do? Most of the time, though, most people don't understand this question, but it also depends on the situation how you ask it. So let me give you an example. What do you do? Do you like being a, and why? This is a conversation card. So this is a conversation card. And if you look at it, then if someone asks you random, what do you do? So for example, I'm using my phone right now. If you ask me what do I do, I can say, yeah, I'm on my phone right now. You see it? But when you ask a person, what's your occupation or what's your job, then they understand it because you have the word job in it. You see here, what do you do depends on the situation. If I'm drinking coffee, if you ask me what do I do, I'm like, I'm drinking coffee. I'm talking to you guys right now. You see the difference? Situation, really important. Yeah. So what do you do? It's hard to ask. Yeah, let's say it's hard to ask some people because sometimes they don't understand it, because they don't. It's not that they don't understand the sentence. It's just like the situation is not telling them. The situation is not telling them what you're trying to ask. So if you put job in it, it's easy. What kind of job do you do? What's your job? You understand? And then if they say, okay, you know what, I am a marketeer, or I'm a salesperson, or I'm an accountant, then you can ask, do you like being an accountant? Do you like to be a salesperson? Do you like to be a marketeer? You understand that? The situation make it that it's difficult for you to say, hey, what do you do? Sometimes when I talk to people, you already know what they do. But you can see, like, for example, if I know that person's an accountant, I'll be like, hey, do you like being an accountant? Or am I wrong, you're not an accountant? You understand? So the situation is really important. And the why. The why, sometimes people cannot explain why they like being, let's say, an accountant. I'm going to give you some example, and hopefully you understand what I'm trying to say. Let's say you are an accountant and you don't like being an accountant. There are a lot of reasons why you don't like being an accountant, but it's just paying you a lot. So someone asking, why do you like being an accountant? You say, yes, I like being an accountant. But then I ask you why. You'll be like, you see, there's something wrong. And why I'm saying this is because you have a lot of people, they just go to work they cannot explain why they like being they cannot explain why they like their job. They just do their job so they get paid. And if you ask those questions, they're gonna be like, and if you're in that situation, it's your job to change it. And you can change it like, okay, do you like it because you earn a lot? Or do you like it because it's easy? You make it easy for the other person. But if someone asks you that question, it's going to be difficult for you to answer. So let's say I like being an accountant. Why? Maybe because it's easy. Maybe because I earn a lot. You understand that? So the why, when you ask the why question in some situation, is really difficult for some people to answer, but you need to understand the situation. Understand the situation is, for example, if you're in a situation that someone doesn't like the work, but they're just saying, yes, I like my work. Yeah. They cannot tell you why. Yeah. So that's about it for this part. About what do you do? Do you like being in a job? And if you look at this, do you like being a? And then you can look at the jobs here. What was it? Oh, here. It can be a nurse, teacher, manager, cleaner. Doesn't matter how you answer it. Yeah. So situation, really important. Okay. Let's see. Do you have a pet? Talk about it. Interesting. When you introduce yourself, you can talk about the pet that you have, but most of the time it's boring. Unless the other person also have the same pet. Let me give you an example. If I have a dog as a pet, and the other person doesn't have a dog as a cat, we cannot talk. Yeah, we can talk, but we don't have anything in common. You understand? But if I have let's say a cat, and the other person also has a cat, then you can talk about things that you have in common. Both person have a cat. It's easy to talk. Yeah. It doesn't mean you cannot talk with a person that doesn't have that, but it does mean that it's hard for you to not understand that person. That's a big difference. When you communicate with someone, it's not about the communicating, it's about understanding. As you saw at the beginning, I told you, do not focus on you, focus on the other person. If you focus on the other person, you will understand the other person faster. And it's not about communicating. If you understand the other person, it's easy for you to communicate. So first, understanding, then communicate. So do you have a pet? You could be like, yes, I have a pet, or no, I don't have a pet. Yeah. And if you say yes, you can say I have a dog, his name is, or her name is, or you can say I have a cat, his name is, or her name is. It's that simple. You can talk about it. What they mean by talk about it is just tell something about the cat, or just tell something about the dog. It's that simple. It can be that you have something else as a pet. Doesn't matter. Just name it, tell the name, what it is, if it's he or she, and that's it. Don't make it complicated, but talk only about those things if it's necessary. If you have the feeling that person doesn't have a pet, don't start. It's a waste of your time. Don't start. Yeah. So just try to figure out what do you have in common, and that makes a conversation easy. There will be some times you will talk with some person when you don't have anything in common. Sometimes it's good because you can learn from the person faster. If you have things in common with the other person, conversation is easy, but you will not learn something new really fast. That's two big different things. I can give you an example, but based on the time, let's go to the next one. Okay, what's your favorite food? What's your favorite drink? I think this question, one of these questions, we have that here. So if someone asks you, what's your favorite food? You'll be like, hey, my favorite food is. Just remember, like I told you, make sure when you name something that people know what it is. If I told you my favorite food is, let's say, hamburger or hot dog, you know what it is. I hope you know what it is. But if I am in a country where they do not know what those things is or what those things are, it's going to be difficult for me to explain. So when you say something about your favorite food or favorite drink, make sure that you say it in a way that people understand what it is. We have something like KISS. KISS stand for, hopefully I can type it, keep it simple, stupid. That means when you explain something, try to explain it simple, but in a way that even a stupid person can understand. It's hard for me sometimes, because sometimes when I talk about, let's say, law stuff with some clients, I need to always follow the rule of KISS. And that means that I need to explain it as simple as possible. If I don't explain it as simple as possible, it's going to be difficult for them to understand. And when I do not do that, it's hard. It's hard to get something done then. So my tip for you is keep it simple. When you explain your favorite food, keep it simple. What does it look like? What is it? And that. Because if you just name it, people don't understand. For example, sometimes I meet new people and they ask you, what's your favorite Vietnamese food? I'll be like, yeah, I don't know. Okay? Or I ask them, what's your favorite? And they name something. I'll be like, yeah, I do not know what it is. I just be honest. I'll be like, I do not know what it is. You can tell me what's in it, but I do not know what it is. But if you tell me this is the same as the food in that country or another country that I know of, it's easy for me to recognize it. You see that? Same with drink. If you, let's say Miranda is same as Fanta. If you say my favorite drink is Miranda, I do not know what it is. You can be like, it's same as Fanta. Oh, I know what Fanta is. You see that? It's not the same, but it looks the same. It's easy for me to understand. Yeah? Let's see. So we talk about food and drink. Let me drink something. Coffee get cold. I think I talked too much. Let me see the comments. And let's see. T say hello. Hello T, how are you? Let's see. Let's go to the next one. The next question. What's your favorite kind of music? Which band do you like? This question, you see that a lot. And I don't really like this question. But let me tell you why I don't like this question. When someone asks you what's your favorite kind of music, I just like music that I like. It can be rock, it can be EMD, it can be whatever. It can be old school. I just like music that I like. But the thing is, when someone asks you that question, they expect you to say one category of music. But you don't have that. Sometimes I like this music, sometimes I like that music. You understand what I mean? Okay? And people do not see that. They'll be like, hey, there's something wrong with my question. No, there's not something wrong with the question. The thing is, there's a lot of answer. I do not know which answer you want. You understand what I mean? And if you want to change this question, the best way to change this question is say, can you tell me more about your favorite music? Or do you have favorite music? Or is there a type of music that you really like? Can you tell me more about it? It's technically the same, but you are telling them, hey, I'm giving you the choice to choose the music that you like, but tell me more about it, why you like it. You see how you change the question and also get what you want? So when you look at questions, yes, you can ask them certain kind of way, but if the other person don't understand it, it's going to be difficult for you to talk with the other person. Yeah. So yeah, same apply for which band do you like. People don't talk about bands now. It's just like music. Yes, if you see bands, yeah, there are a group of people. They make music. You can name them if there are. And in this case, I'll be like Linkin Park. Most people do not know them. Some people do know them. It depends who they are. Okay. What's your phone number and what's your email address? Nobody has that. Now it'll be like, hey, what's your Facebook, or hey, what's your Instagram? That's these are outdated questions. So you see, sometimes you have some question. The more you go in time, so the more you go in the future, the more time passes by, the questions will not become relevant. So what you need to do is just practice. Practice every day with someone, some teacher, tutor, doesn't matter. Practice. You will see that you learn the basic question, but you also learn with time how to ask the correct question. You understand that? So yeah, what's your phone number, what's your email address? You're not going to ask that. And because when you ask a phone number of someone, they're going to be like, hey, that's personal. And email address is really personal, unless we are doing business. So, no. Okay, when is your birthday? What do you usually do on your birthday? This is a normal question, but it depends how close you are with some person. You can ask them like, okay, when is your birthday? Okay, tell me, when is your birthday? Maybe I can give you some gift or whatever. And you can ask that question, and a follow-up question, a question after that can be like, okay, what do you usually do on your birthday? And then they can tell you. These questions are direct, but it also depends on the situation when you're asking them. Sometimes you meet some new people. I think it was from the first time here in Vietnam, but they ask you, okay, when is your birthday? And I'll be like, yeah, why are you asking me that? That's not relevant. Why are you asking me that? See the difference? Eh? If I do not know you well, I'm not going to tell you what my birthday is. If I know you well and I can talk with you, maybe I will tell you. But I can be like, okay, you can also look it on my social media. You understand what I mean? Some question you can ask them, some question you can. It depends on the situation. So we have here, oh, we are halfway through. Let's see the comments. Okay. Okay. Let's see. We have here, what's your favorite day of the week? I don't have a favorite day of the week, so no, I don't have to answer that. But if you have a favorite day, you can say like, hey, my favorite day of the week is, like up here. You see that here, my favorite day of the week is. And because, don't forget the because. Same apply for month. What's your favorite sport? Yes. You can be like, soccer is my favorite sport, or badminton is my favorite sport. And how often do you do it? 3 times a week or 1 time per week. But sometimes you also have people that don't have a favorite sport, but they do fitness. Or sometimes they have a favorite sport, but they do not practice the sport. It's that simple. So you need to watch out and understand the situation. So this is a valid question. Then we have, what do you do in your free time? Yeah, we already have some example of answer that you can do, say. But if you have a casual conversation, you don't ask those questions. You just ask something different. But these are just questions so you can practice. What do you usually do on a Saturday? That's a valid question. Sometimes you say, what do you do this Saturday? What do you usually do on a Saturday? You can be like, yeah, on Saturday I will go to a shopping mall, or Saturday I will go to the market, or I will cook with the family, or visit my hometown. Those kind of things, you can put it in here. And how often do you go on holiday? Where do you like going? This is something you do not ask that, because people often know when some people go on holiday, and people know when there is on holiday. And most of the time people talk about where they are going on holiday, not how often they are going on holiday. You understand what I mean? So for example, if you have 2 times in a year that you go on holiday, you'll be like, this December I will go to let's say to Europe or to US. You understand? That's where you like to going. But they never ask how often. Let's see. How often do you eat out? What's your favorite restaurant? When you talk with person, it's not like how often do you eat out. It's just like, okay, what are you going to do this week? Are you going to eat out? Do you have a favorite restaurant? It's about now. This is a general question. It's not something you ask really well. But if you can answer, you can answer it. I often eat 3 times a week out or something. It depends what you feel in here, but it depends the situation. Again, the situation is important. And then we have, how often do you go to the cinema? These are also questions you do not ask that, but if there is a big movie in the cinema, you will like, hey, are you going to the cinema for this movie? Hey, are you going this Saturday to the cinema? Are you going this Friday to the week or this weekend to the cinema? Those kind of questions you're asking during the conversation, and of course, you're not going to get this question during the conversation. Let me do that last one and I'll explain what I mean. What do you do in the evening? What time do you usually go to bed? What do you do in the evening of this evening? That's something you ask a lot. What time do you usually go to bed? It depends on the situation, but when you ask this question, that there has to be a reason why you ask that. You cannot ask a random person what time do you usually go to bed. That's weird. Okay. A couple of things that you need to know. Like you saw in this stream, there are some questions that you can ask and that you cannot ask. So like you saw in the stream, there are some questions you can ask and some questions you cannot ask. And it also depends on the situation. There will be some times when you ask a question, it's important for you to know why you're asking that question. If you do not know why you're asking that question, or if you do not have a reason why you're asking that question, the other person will be like, hey, I do not know why you're asking that question. Or they will hesitate to answer that question. You understand what I mean? So it's important for you to think about, okay, why am I asking that question? If you do not do that, you will have a problem. So okay. Like I said, in this stream, we will talk about introducing yourself, show you some things that you can do and some things that you cannot do when you talk about introducing yourself. Sorry about this. If you are really serious about learning English, just contact the English house and they will help you. Just contact the English house and they will help you with the program in order to learn English. If you're really serious about learning English, just visit them because they can really help you, because I think when you are English environment, it's easy for you to learn English while you are not doing anything. And yes, there will be sometimes you can learn a lot of things at home, but nothing is different, or it's not the same when you're in an environment where you are forced to speak English. I have some students when they are doing class, when they are forced to speak in English, it's a little bit difficult at the beginning, but the more they do it, the easier it's going to get. And you have a lot of students at the beginning, hey, I want to learn English. But when they start, they're like, it's difficult, and they quit. Do you also want to be that person? So if you're really serious about that, visit the English house, asking more about the course, and then you can follow them. So if you have questions about introducing yourself, there's a link. You can go on the Discord. On the Discord, you can ask questions. And you can also practice with other teachers. And if you have other questions about learning English, how you can learn faster, on the Discord there's a lot of videos and tips that you can use in order to learn English. Videos like these videos and other things. I will try to explain a lot of things to make it easy for you to learn English. So if you have questions, put it in the comment. I will try to answer as soon as possible. And if you're new, don't forget to like the page and follow us. Comment in Discord, talk with us, and yes. So that's about it for this stream, and I think I need to go to the next one. So that's about it for this stream, and I will talk to you guys in the next stream.
I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief. Know what I want, so I'll take it on. I've made mistakes, but mistakes make you strong. Let's break it down for a minute. I want the crown, I'm gon' get it. You hear me loud, man, I'm winning. Yeah, Charlie Sheen will be